welcome to the complete animation of RoboCop 2. I'm including the first two RoboCop 2s, the experimental ones that ended up committing suicide, because they're also pretty good stop motion. And so, channel regulars will say, wow, this is different from what you usually do, and yes, it is, but I will remind you that stop motion is indeed animation. And so, yeah, RoboCop 2. I'll be honest, I don't watch a lot of rated R movies, but I sure like some good animation, and this stop motion animation is pretty impressive. The movie that it takes place in is pretty dark and oppressive. See what I did there? And so, yeah, this is a pretty dark, violent movie. It deals a lot with, a super corrupt city and drugs and, the robot that you're seeing here is powered by a brain of a guy who most certainly was not a willing donor. And so, yeah, RoboCop 2 is really not a, super family-friendly movie or anything like that. But it does have some pretty cool animation. Like right here, when he grabs her, you can tell right there that, it was a little doll that was being grabbed by the stop-motion animation. And it's if you look closely, basically any time the robot is interacting with another character, directly, it cuts to another, cut angle, and then you can pretty much tell that it's another stop motion thing going on with it. Especially when RoboCop 1, I guess, is jumping onto RoboCop 2's back. But yeah, this is basically the last time that, major stop motion would be used in a big budget Hollywood movie. And it's pretty impressive. I think that the AT-ATs in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, I think that those have aged a little bit better than this, but they're also not nearly as ambitious. Just look at how many moving parts this thing has. The AT-ATs have just 4 legs and just a few joints in them, and they're pretty simple otherwise. And I think that just how they look is able to just end up looking better throughout. But the sheer ambition of this stop-motion animated character, RoboCop 2, is just astounding. Look at how many joints it has. Especially look at that torso. All of those hydraulic pistons that let it twist and turn and all sorts of things. That is just so impressive. And this shot here, where it's stopping itself in an elevator, it just works. I think that the parts where it's clearly the entire shot is all done in miniature instead of, the stop motion being blue screened on top of the live action stuff. I think that this stuff that's all stop motion looks overall better because, it's just a more consistent just shot. Right there, it's clearly that's just stuff being blue screened. And here comes the bit, you can tell that RoboCop 1 is just as much stop motion as RoboCop 2 is in this scene. And then the next cut, it'll show that he's, normal live action again. But it's these are the details that you only see if you're looking for them. The way that this whole action scene plays out is actually pretty good. I'd say it still holds up. And when people say holds up, the way that some people use the term, I think they mean holds up as in it looks like it could have been filmed today. When I say the term holds up, I mean if you're watching the movie and then you just see it, does it still work? Does the shot still work? It's like, does it draw too much attention to itself? If it's like, that looks off, it looks bad, that's when it doesn't hold up. But it's like, in the context of everything else you've been watching, if you're watching the movie, and then it still looks good, then that's what I mean when I say it still holds up. And so, obviously I think that this fight scene is a little bit over the top. Like, RoboCop opened the whole fight with just a giant armor-piercing rifle. I don't think that it's super realistic for anything that's clearly just made out of metal to withstand that. But yeah, I think that just thinking about the fact that this is all a miniature model and somebody was going frame by frame to move each of these individual little parts, and there are so many of them. I want to say that there's at least 24 joints or points of articulation, and they make it work. Whatever, like I said, I don't think that RoboCop 2 is, a movie that I really like that much, but this is really impressive stop-motion animation, and I think it'll be the last that we ever see of it, and I think that the art of mixing stop motion and live action went off on a bang. Thank you so much for watching.